Welcome to Simply Debbie Sue's Southern Whispers. We're about to wrap up the October stories. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching me from the beginning of my stories and all my videos, really. But if this is the first time watching me in my stories, welcome. And I just say go back and watch any of my videos, really, to get to know me. And just welcome everybody. So let's get into the introduction for this story. There's something about late October on the prairie that feels like a hymn, soft, steady, and stitched with grace. The fields are quiet, the skies wear their Sunday best, and even the pumpkins seem to know their place in the rhythm of harvest and home. This story, The Pumpkin That Rode to Church, is a gentle ramble through one little girl's imagination, a goat with a mind of her own, and a pumpkin named Percival who finds his way to the altar, not for pie, but for purpose. It's a tale for anyone who's ever believed that joy can ride in a ribbon basket, that faith can be found in the smallest offering, and that sometimes the best sermons come from the back pews and the front porches. So this story is called The Pumpkin That Rode to Church. Late October on the prairie was a patchwork of gold and gray, fields stripped bare, skies stitched with migrating geese, and the scents of wood smoke curling from the chimneys like prayers. The McAllister's homestead, nestled between two sleepy hills, had a porch swing that creaked like it had secrets to tell, and a pumpkin patch that Josie McAllister swore was enchanted. Josie, 10 years old and full of gumption, had chosen her pumpkin with the precision of a county fair judge. Percival wasn't the biggest, nor the brightest, but he had character. His stem curled like a gentleman's mustache, and his freckles reminded Josie of her Uncle Ray's storytelling face, weathered, warm, and always up to something. She spent the week preparing for Harvest Sunday like it was the prairie's version of the Oscars. Clementine the goat was brushed and ribboned. The basket was lined with quilt scraps from Mama's sewing chest, and Josie practiced her Harvest Queen wave in the mirror using a wooden spoon. Mama watched with a mix of amusement and pride. You reckon that goat's going to behave in front of the Lord? Josie winked. She's been baptized in the creek twice. I think she's ready. The morning of Harvest Sunday dawned crisp and clear. Josie bundled up in her church dress, boots, and scarf that smelled faintly of cinnamon. Clementine trotted beside her, pulling the basket like a pro, and Percival sat inside like royalty, his stem polished with a dab of olive oil and a prayer. As they made their way down the wagon trail, neighbors peeked out from their porches. Mrs. Tilly clapped her hands. Well, I declare, that goat's got more grace than my cousin Edna. Old Mr. Harlan tipped his hat. That pumpkin's got presents. Looks like he's fixing to preach. As the little white church with the steeple that leaned just slightly east, Josie parked Clementine beside the hitching post and carried Percival inside like a sacred offering. Pastor Elmer paused mid-sermon to admire the pumpkin perched on the altar. Now, folks, he said, some bring ties, some bring talents, and some bring pumpkins with personality. Let us all be grateful for all. After the service, the congregation gathered for the potluck. There were casseroles with mysterious ingredients, pies that could win ribbons, and Josie's pumpkin bread, made with Percival's cousin, of course, wrapped in gingham and tied with twine. Each slice came with a note. From Percival with love, may your harvest be full and your heart even fuller. As the sun dipped low and the prairie turned to honey, Josie sat on the porch swing sipping warm cider. Clementine snoozed beside her, and Mama gently rocked in her chair. You folks gave more than bread today, said Mama. You gave them a story to carry home. Josie looked out at the fields, where the wind danced like it had secrets. I reckon joy's like a pumpkin, she said. You got to carry it with care, but it's meant to be shared. So the reflection of this story is, Josie didn't bring gold or incense to church that Sunday. She brought a goat, a pumpkin, and a heart full of joy. And in doing so, she reminded her whole community that the size of the gift doesn't matter, only the spirit in which it's given. In a world that often measures worth by grandeur, Josie's story is a quiet nudge to look again, to see the beauty in small gestures, the holiness in humor, and the sacredness in sharing what you have, even if it's just a slice of pumpkin bread wrapped in gingham. So let this story be a reminder that joy is meant to be carried and shared, that faith often rides in on the back of ordinary things, and that when we offer our gifts, no matter how humble, with love, God places them right on the altar. I hope you enjoyed that story and come back next week. We're going to start our November stories. Thanks for listening.